These are the stories
There is a foundation out there that helps you get back into it.
of organizations making a difference
What really limits our ability to do something is people's imagination.
and empowering others across Canada.
When I get into that sledge, I'm free, man. I'm playing hockey.
It's a great organization and it's worth supporting.
In our community.
Neurodiversity is the concept that every brain is different. You can recognize somebody that you love out of every single person in the world just by looking at their face. You have their eyes, their eyebrows, their nose, and their mouth. If your brain is millions of times more complex than your face, imagine the variation. At what point does a variation or a deviant become a disability?
After struggling with social settings in high school, Nicole was diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder.
I was just at the lowest point and I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about what I wore. I didn't care about whether or not I had a shower. I didn't care about what I did. I was angry because I didn't feel like I belonged in the world at all.
When you hear no or you're not doing it right over and over again, you decide, well, why bother?
Cindy, a mother of 2 neurodiverse sons, understands the need for inclusion.
When you have a foot in the world of autism and the I want to be just like everybody else, it gets really, really hard to figure out the norm.
Right now in our society, the way it's set up, there's not these roles for everybody.
Nicole decided to change the way the world sees neurodiversity.
When I first said I want to start a choir for singers with autism and neurodiversities, everybody's like, oh, that's so sweet. The first time somebody called about the choir, I was so nervous that I hung up.
Determined to create change, Nicole pursued, and in 2016, the Mayday Club Youth Choir was born.
Everybody in the group is neurodiverse, and we perform all across kind of the province to raise awareness for inclusion in schools and workplaces.
Meredith and her husband Kevin first learned of the choir 2 years ago.
I've always been visually impaired.
I had a brain hemorrhage. I had 2 brain hemorrhages actually. The pressure went behind my right eye and killed the nerves.
As a piano teacher and an advocate for those with diverse abilities, Meredith was curious to get involved with the choir.
We went to a practice and I was unaware of what was going to happen, and all of a sudden there we are playing, singing along with all these crazy songs and all these awesome kids, and I'm just playing away and I'm going, well, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm just playing the piano, and that's what we do. They sing like nobody's watching. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Kevin and Meredith immediately were taken by the energy and passion shared by the members and became involved as mentors.
I think they've really seen us and they go, oh wow, these guys really have lived it and they understand and they know really what we go through every day. It's helped me, or helped us, but it's helped them to realize that they're not alone.
My family and Meredith's family have, they just treat us like normal, and society has to do the same.
Today, Nicole is on her way to meet the choir for a performance in Surrey.
The choir members find it really encouraging when we get to do cool things like being on TV or being on the radio. It's really a good motivator for them because lots of them have been through different things. Most of them have gone through bullying and different types of abuse. People with autism are more likely to experience abuse than neurotypical individuals just because of the difficulty understanding social situations, especially for girls. One thing that I'm trying to do is help all of them to understand what it feels like to be loved and what it feels like to be appreciated and valued. I tell them, if the audience is clapping for them, I say, like, look how proud of you they are. And if they come off stage, I'm like, I'm proud of you, and I'm usually happy to see them, so I always give them a big hug when I see them. If they're wondering, is the way I'm being treated normal, I kind of want them to have that reference point. This is what it feels like to be valued, so that later on they won't settle for anything less.
Today's events at the Museum of Surrey will be their last opportunity to practice together before a live on-the-radio performance in 2 days.
The best part about being in the choir is the friendships and connections that I've made.
Natalie was one of the original members to join the choir 3 years ago.
After you leave high school, it's a bit harder to make friends. And with this group, I get to meet like-minded people.
Natalie is amazing. She was bullied a lot in school and she loves to sing, but she was so shy that she never really had the opportunity to.
Before I joined the choir, I was going through a bit of depression. But since joining the choir, I've had a much better quality of life and I'm much happier.
I personally have been kind of dreaming of this kind of thing since I was a kid. Now I look back at my choir experience. Like I was in choir all the way till grade 7, and then I took a break because I just had a teacher who just, if you couldn't sing, diverse ability or not, if you couldn't sing, she wouldn't let you sing.
The choir creates an inclusive and safe environment for both artistic expression and authentic friendships.
This one? Yeah. That's them? Yep, they should. Okay. Hi! Samira! Your hair's purple. Yes. I love your hair.
I have a social services diploma from the University of the Fraser Valley, and I never really understood autism. Like I wrote a paper on it, but I never really understand it for real until I started with the choir. Now I realize that they're just people like we are.
Yeah. Diverse abilities might seem to the average person as a crutch or a setback, but to people like us or people with autism, it's a strength.
We have a couple new members who we just got to know in September. They're going to get a big confidence build. Like I have more confidence now in myself than I did a year ago.
Riley, one of the younger choir members, lives 30 minutes south of Vancouver with his parents.
And over there is our pool. She's often open in the summer. My name is Riley. I am 12 years old.
My name is Paul Durson and I'm Riley's dad.
Riley joined the choir 3 years ago and is a featured soloist on Mayday's new album.
Favorite part of the choir is singing in front of so many people. I get to make new friends and being famous, and I'm not nervous to be singing out in front of so many people.
Riley was diagnosed with autism when he was 2.5 years old.
He didn't speak. He started to speak and then it just one day stopped. So we focused on him learning to speak properly when he was really young. And now he won't stop talking.
Hey everybody! Hello and welcome to the show. It's great to be here in Cincinnati. Oh, that's not right. Denver. That's not right. Miami. No, that's not right either. Toronto. No, it's Surrey. We are the Mayday Club Choir.
Since its beginning, the choir has grown to 42 members and recently launched an online virtual experience for members unable to attend in person.
There's older people and younger people. They're so energetic and there's so much movement, really raw. We don't hide anything. They all kind of interpret the music in their own way. You'll see people dancing, you'll see people standing still, people moving. It's not like a typical choir at all.
Lola and her mom, Cammie, commute 2 hours from Harrison Hot Springs to attend the practices and performances.
In her elementary school, they had a choir, and she wanted to join another choir. So I just searched out online, and luckily enough, we found Nicole from Mayday, and it was an instant connection between the two of them, and the rest is kind of history.
I never really liked singing in front of people, but now that Nicole showed me, that's fine, and then now I do. I love singing.
Yes. Yeah, from the time we wake up in the morning to the time she goes to bed, so yeah.
I stay up till like 10 o'clock singing. It's true. My mom has to come and it's like, no more singing, now you have to go to bed.
What Nicole is doing is providing opportunities for society to see that we can do the same thing as everybody else.
Being neurodiverse isn't really anything exceptional. It's not like you're aware of it. It's more like you're just yourself.
I grew up where everybody judged people based on behaviors or whether you fit the norm. If you fit inside the box and you were accepted, if you fit outside the box, you weren't. It's giving a voice to so many who've never had a voice before.
Here, Blake, do you want to show them what you drew? What's this?
Weather.
This is weather? What's this?
My learning.
You're learning?
Along with ASD, Cindy's son Blake struggles with extreme anxiety, creating additional challenges with social settings.
Kids with autism often have like behavior problems for the same reason that every kid has behavior problems, because they haven't really developed that like sense of awareness yet, but especially for them, it doesn't come as naturally, and the behavior problems that they have will probably be like way more, but there's so much emphasis on trying to correct behavior that there's so many other areas that get overlooked.
You're going to learn how to do this. You're going to learn to follow the rules. And for a kid like Blake, who has a very strong personality, he kept fighting against it and fighting against it, and it just got to the point where he didn't want to fight against it anymore. And so, he just decided his room was a safer place. It was easier to be at home.
There comes a point when somebody really can't handle something. You just have to realize that they're just who they are. You just have to let them be who they are.
Before we joined Mayday Choir, Blake hadn't left his room in a whole year. And so we joined, and the first day that we went, he sat the furthest part away from the choir that he could. And he inched slowly and more slowly. And then Nicole played a game and he got involved. And after that, she let him sing one of his songs, and we've been going every week since. So if it wasn't for Mayday, he would never have left his room. So for me, it's
Don't be sad.
No, Mom's not sad. She's happy. Those are happy tears.
Having that opportunity for him to be exposed to other people, to be exposed to different venues, is huge. And so coming here and just standing in the back of that choir means the world to me.
Nobody tells us that what we're doing is inappropriate. Nobody tells us that what we're doing is wrong. And that's the kind of message that I want to get out, that we are just people like everybody else. Even though we have diverse abilities, we're just people like everybody else, and we can do stuff just like everybody else.
He's in the choir, he's standing there, he's a part of it, he's accepted for probably the very first time in his life.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
There's no right or wrong way to have a brain, just like there's no right or wrong way to have your face.
Autism is, I don't even know. Complex, thank you. A very complex challenge that they deal with. And they just have gifts to share that nobody else can give.
The way people with disabilities in society are treated have come a long way since like the 1800s and stuff. But there's still a long way to go.
While studying for her Bachelor of Science at the University of British Columbia, Nicole found some research that became the catalyst of the choir.
There is a part of your brain called the amygdala that's responsible for your fear, disgust response. So if a wolf from a different wolf pack comes up and tries to mingle in, the animal's amygdala will light up and tell them that it's an outsider and that they should fear it or attack it. Humans have that too. It's just there. The best person in the world would have it light up if they saw somebody who was different from them. Mother Teresa, like anybody. It's just part of who you are.
The amygdala is thought to be mostly formed in early childhood.
Siblings of people with disabilities have a different amygdala response than siblings of people without disabilities. Kids who are exposed to something as normal when they're in preschool and kindergarten are more likely to have less of an amygdala response, therefore their inherent view, not how they treat the person, but their genuine understanding of the person is different based on their experiences. I think that the next step into creating a society where there's a role for everybody is to condition little kids in their early childhood to have this as a normal response.
The choir performs for children using popular songs that are familiar while talking about why neurodiversity is a normal thing.
What we want is for a person, if they see somebody in a wheelchair, if they see somebody with Down syndrome, it's not, oh, that person has Down syndrome, that person has autism. It's, oh, that person has blue eyes, that person has the Down syndrome phenotype.
So we just want to be heard. We just want to be seen as people with normal, if that's a word. I don't like that word, but I can't think of a different one right now. People without diverse abilities, even though we have them, we just want people to walk alongside us and say, hey, you've got this, but we have you back.
Today, the choir is traveling together to a performance in Vancouver. This live on radio performance is a big opportunity to provide a large amount of exposure for the choir.
We are on a bus, which is like a tour bus, so it's pretty exciting. I call it living the dream.
Liddell has taken the day off to come along to watch her son Francis perform.
With us showing our choir, they see every type of autism there possibly can be. There's the autism spectrum disorder. We have every child that does something different. Every child reacts differently. And it shows what we can do, not what we can't do.
Liddell has witnessed her son struggle to fit in and recognizes a need for inclusion.
They see all these people that, they all have friends, and they get invited to go to sleepovers, birthday parties, anywhere, and you just really want your child to get that one invite, that one invitation, to be invited anywhere to do anything, because then it feels like they're accepted.
Since joining the choir, Francis has been able to make friends.
We got an invite through the Mayday Club Choir, which was really cool because it was an invite to a birthday party. I was like, sure, yes, we'll come. This is great. We'll make it work. Because it's the invite. It's when you're invited to something, you're included. And that's what any parent wants, is their child to be included and accepted for who they are.
Riley's family has also noticed a difference in the last few years.
Since joining the choir, he's become more outwardly confident. He's not shy about getting in front of people.
When you see your child struggle and the rest of society doesn't understand, and the one thing that can make all the difference is just acceptance. And for Mayday, they accept everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what unique challenges you might have. You're all accepted for just being who you are, and I think that's the crux.
I just see everybody as brave people and young men and women. They're just strong, and I know that they're mature and intelligent, and I treat them like that, and that's basically all I do. It's not very hard.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community. The choir has just arrived in downtown Vancouver for their live performance. For Julia, this will be her first time on the radio.
She really loves singing, so it has been a good opportunity for her to be able to, share her passion with people around her. Right, Julia? Do you love singing? Yeah.
June and Lydia just began bringing their daughter Julia to choir last September.
She was born with a very rare type of metabolic condition known as glutaric acidemia type 1. It is genetic condition and there's no cure. So looking after her medical needs has been one of the big challenges. And also she's also visually impaired, legally blind. So, navigating through the world where everybody is vision, oriented, it has been really, really hard. So I think the best thing that we find about the choir is for her to have a lot of opportunity to go out into the community, because she's now 17 and we really want her to be included in the community. So this has been a great avenue for her to be able to share her passion and also, participate in the community with her strengths and abilities. What do you think, Julie?
Yeah.
Today's performance is part of a radiothon, raising money for kids with disabilities across British Columbia.
You ready, Julia?
There's a piano here, so I think I'll play it. It's time. Okay, so I'm going to position it.
Do you guys want to go on the riser, or do you want to stand? You can
go on the riser.
Yeah, okay. Where do you want me to go?
The mics turn on, and it's the Mayday Choir's time to shine.
Hit it.
We are the Mayday Club Choir.
Before the choir, I had nothing. When you have nothing, it's easy to wonder why you're alive at all. And what's the purpose of getting up every morning? And day after day, like, being in that place is really scary. Now that I've got all these people, there's like 42 of them now, and every day I think of them, and every day I do everything that I can to make the choir better and push them to bigger and bigger heights. It gives meaning to pretty much everything. Like, there's still some days where I say, I wish that things were different, and I wish that I could have been just like everybody else. But most of the time I can say, I'm so thankful that I'm different, because everything kind of amounted to this. People say that I've changed their kids' lives, but I feel like that's nothing compared to what they've done for me.
The club has given so much to my son and really to me as well.
The support and love that they have for each other is
unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing to watch. And it is unbelievable, yeah, almost. But it's true, right? Yeah.
This choir gives people hope. This choir gives people friendship. This choir gives people an opportunity to express themselves in a way that they've never been able to do before.
The generation that came before me started the conversation of inclusion. My generation is going to be the one that invents ways of inclusion, and then the upcoming generation is going to be the one whose brains are conditioned to neurodiversity and are going to get to live in the world that we create. And that's what we're really trying to do.
She's going to change the world for these kids.
Producer Pamela Tomlinson, narrator Jim Van Horn, director of photography Dion Nell, camera operator Shay Patterson, location audio Devin Cook, editor Pamela Tomlinson, sound mix Tyler Gillis, integrated described video specialist M. Williams, special thanks Mayday Club, graphics Andrew Antonello, regional content specialist Sylvie Faquette, coordinating producer Jennifer Johnson, consulting producer Colette Vosberg, director production Kara Nye, director programming Brian Perdue, VP Programming and Production John Melvin, President and CEO David Arrington, produced with the participation of Canada Media Fund, copyright 2020 Accessible Media Inc.